Hello, everyone, and welcome to the only live webcast that brings you the passion, the power, and the pulse of the mighty One New Zealand Warriors. This is Ruin Hammer Live, the official webcast of Warrior Nation, who are the official Aussie-based Warriors supporters movement. I'm your host, Hammer, and joining me tonight, as usual, at the special Thursday night edition, is my co-host and fellow Warriors tragic, Warrior Roo. Rob, how have you been, mate? A lot of family stuff happening up your neck of the woods this week.
Absolutely, mate. Heaps going on. It's been a huge week. I've had the whole week in my new office at work, and whenever you start a new workplace, you go through the whole "Oh, are you a Warriors fan?" thing again, and I go through that whole story just when my usual old office all gets up to speed. So I go through that whole "Oh, you're a Warriors fan, eh?" And you get to go through the whole journey with everyone else. But yeah, it's been a really good week. Really good to get into a new office and meet a lot of new colleagues. And on the side, life goes on. So there's school activities, sports, and all that sort of thing happening. So
Yep.
yeah, tonight there was an Eisteddfod choir of Eisteddfod. So I was there watching my daughter sing in the choir, and then got back from that as quick as I can, so we can go through everything that's gone on in the world of the Warriors and NRL.
Yep.
So yeah, how about yourself? How's things there? And importantly, how's the weather down there? Because that might be a telling factor.
The weather was shocking on the weekend. It hasn't been that bad during the week. Had a little bit of rain again this morning down here in Sydney, but they're predicting a little bit of rain this weekend. So, and we all saw how well the Bulldogs played in the rain. So we're hoping it rains this weekend.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So it hasn't been too bad. I'm hoodied up. I actually got the new Indigenous hoodie.
As
The
did I.
Warriors released. Yeah. So
I'll be
bit
wearing
cool.
that soon.
Bit cool down here this evening. So I've thrown that on. But yeah, mate. No, things down here are pretty good. Let's rock into this, mate. As I said in the opener, Ruin Hammer, we are the official webcast of Warrior Nation, and we're now going live on our own Ruin Hammer Facebook page, our Ruin Hammer YouTube channel, and on the Warrior Nation Facebook page, with a blessing of the Warrior Nation Godfather, Richie Morgan. On tonight's show, we're going to look at the Warriors NRL and NRLW games last week. We're going to give a quick review of the NRL and NRLW rounds from last weekend. We're also preview this week's blockbuster games against the Bulldogs in both the men's and the women's teams. But we'll chat a little bit about last week's game, round 22. We hosted the Dolphins over there in New Zealand. Team list Tuesday, there was already significant outs with James Fisher-Harris, Wade Egan, Chanel Harris-Tavita. Add to that Demetric Vaimunga, who was withdrawal 24 hours prior to kickoff. And then, as we predicted, where we did make some changes to that listed team, we predicted that Tane would start at fullback, that CNK had probably moved to the centres, Nia Corey to the front row, Capewell to an edge back row, and Eddie Iremia Toiava became Warrior 294 on the weekend, making his debut off the bench. And it was a solid debut for Eddie. I thought he played quite well.
He didn't look out of place at all.
He didn't. But let's talk about the game, mate.
Yeah.
Look, the end result and the way that the Dolphins snatched it in that last minute was probably a bit of karma handed back to the Warriors for what we did against the Knights up there at Newcastle. But yeah, I thought our opening few sets, we were unable to get out of our half, and we were commenting on that about how our yardage sets looked really, really poor. But then after a couple of poor yardage sets, Roger was just absolutely outstanding at the back, starting our sets off well. I've got to talk about, though, Herbie Farnworth for the Dolphins. He scored their opening try. All but looked to have put the hammer away for a try when he pulled his hamstring. That was in the 16th minute. After 16 minutes, Herbie Farnworth had run for 129 run meters, had 5 tackle breaks, 3 line breaks, and scored a try. if that guy stays on the field, I don't think we get anywhere near the Dolphins in this game.
I think that was the most crucial play of the game, actually. And that kept us in the game. Like you said, he was absolutely carving us up. Yeah, hard to believe that after only 16 minutes, he'd gone for 130 meters in that run. Well, if he doesn't do his hammy there, the hammer's in under the sticks, and that would have been cool. I can't remember if that was 6-0 or 6-all.
6-all at that stage, I think.
6-all, and I know they went out to 16-6 at half time, but I think that could potentially blow in the game wide open.
Yeah,
and I think. Like we were talking about it all week, and then lead up to the game. Like the Dolphins attack, it just comes at you from everywhere. They have one of the most potent backlines in the game, and I said we're going to have to play really well to contain them. And to be honest, in the first 16 minutes, we didn't contain them. They ran riot, and I think we need a lucky break. Obviously, not lucky for Herbie. Hopefully, he gets the straight into that rehab, but it looks like he's going to miss about 4 to 6 weeks, which could be also be crucial for us because the Dolphins are now right in the frame for a final spot. And I think we might talk about our ladder position a little bit later on and all the possibilities that could happen. But yeah, look, that was key, and that kept us in the game. And like we probably from that moment on, we were the better team. Definitely in the second half, and for 39 minutes and about 30 seconds off that second half, we were the better team. But again, I feel like it. I know we ended up losing in the end, and that loss happened in slow motion. Like you could just feel it coming. They only needed one shot, and they took it and beat us with that last try. But like we had so many opportunities before that, I think, to take a different option. So whether you look at us taking a penalty goal to go out the 4-point lead instead of 2, I know these days teams don't really like to do that because they say there's no difference between 2 and a 4-point lead. But the Masako's try was in the corner and it wasn't converted. So at the very least, it would have been golden point. But that's fish and chip paper now. But we had a lot of possession, and they were down to 12 men with about 7 minutes to go still. And we really didn't fire a shot in our attack at all. No. We looked content to hand the ball over to them on their line. And it's like, guys, we're playing the Dolphins here. They're the best attacking team in the competition. And unfortunately, we gave away repeat sets, and that's what ended up costing us. Some crucial penalties, some decision-making we'd probably like back. But having said that, being so down on personnel, so many injuries, we did really well to be in it up until that final 30 seconds. So.
Agreed, because last week when we spoke about the game in our preview, I said that we'd either win by 2 or we'd lose by 20. And and look, I stand by that. I think if Herbie Farnworth plays that game out, we don't get anywhere near them.
We wouldn't have been close.
He was menacing. But I think once he went off, there was a switch in the tide. Roger, absolutely fantastic from the back. Tane playing well above his weight as per usual. Dallin has been he's been heavily criticised over the past couple of weeks for his efforts. I thought he had a better game.
Better.
Came up with a couple of tries. Didn't have as poor defensive reads as what he has in the past few weeks, but maybe having Adam Pompey next to him in that game was like an experienced centre defending in the centres might have helped him.
I must say with Dallin though, like it's like when we get to our 3-2-1s, I would have given him more points, but it's just that penalty. That penalty with about 1 minute to go was crucial. It was like
there was 2 crucial calls. I thought the penalty when Kafusi got penalised and sin binned for that hip drop tackle on Jacob Laban. Look, there's two trains of thought. The Warriors are up 18-16 at the time. We take the 2 at that point. It maybe sucks a minute off the clock, and we get the 2 points. It was fairly easy kick. we get the 2 points, we go out to a 4-point lead, and then even if the Dolphins score, they have to convert to win the game. If they do score, they're taking the golden point. That would have been them kicking off to us and then us controlling the pace of the game again. I get, though, that the Warriors decided to keep the foot on the pedal with the attacking the Dolphins line down to 12 men, thinking that they could maybe jag a try, get 4 points.
Which would have won it.
Which would have won it. But we did, as you said, we didn't throw anything at them. We looked happy just to finish our final few sets with ball in hand on the Dolphins line and backing our defence. But yeah, as you said, a penalty to the Dolphins for that high shot.
Negative play just gets punished in the game these days. In the modern game, if you're trying to protect the lead and you stop playing footy, you get punished. Yeah, and that's what happened. We literally gave them one shot, and that's all they needed.
I'm not going to bash Tanner Boyd, but when you're playing sets inside the opposition 20 or 30, and they're a man down, you need more from your halves in terms of creativity and putting pressure on the opposition defense, and we just didn't do that.
It was more of the same. It's just really unthreatening. The only try that we got was from a kick.
Yeah.
And it's all this side to side stuff, and we're just not making the space, and we're just lacking like a lot of pace, I think, as well, to create these kind of opportunities that the Dolphins had.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, it was a much better effort than the effort we put in against the Titans. And if we had played like that against the Titans, we'd probably win that game. Because I thought we nullified their speed men pretty well. But, yeah, it just wasn't enough. We were busted and broken. We spoke about that before the game. We actually said it'd be like Magic Round last year when we were busted and broken, or when we played the Dolphins in New Zealand the week after Magic Round last year, and we were busted and broken. I think, as you said, Chance was out that week. Tane was named at fullback. His partner went into labour, so Dallin became fullback, and Moala Graham Taufa, came into the centres, and it was a similar kind of thing. But yeah, a gallant effort. But a gallant effort doesn't get you 2 points at this back end of the season when we really need them. And we're probably fortunate that we've won some games earlier in the year, tight contests that maybe we didn't deserve to win, that have kept us in this top 4 position. And it's probably also glassed over the fact that maybe we're not a top 4 side. I think we're a top 8 team, but
top 8, yes.
We've been holding on to this spot in the top 4, and now we've got teams that are just hunting us down.
That's right.
You know, 3 teams win this week, and we lose to the Bulldogs, and we go from 4th to 7th. That's the reality of it.
We're going to slip fast. We got teams breathing down our neck. Penrith have that 1 point advantage from that draw.
Yep.
So if they win this week and we lose, they're immediately ahead of us. I think we're probably lucky that some of those teams that are trying to make the 8, they either play each other or they have really tough games against, say, the Raiders. Broncos have the Storm twice starting tonight.
Yep.
But it's really getting tight when you start looking at that ladder. And I think a lot of people are just assuming that we're going to go through the motions and get the wins where we need to get them. But I've actually done the ladder predictor, and if all the results go the way that at least I think they will, I think I'm a reasonable judge of results. And like, we need 2 more wins just to finish 8th. If all the other games go the way that we would predict, so that leaves us. And the games that I picked that we would probably win would be the Dragons at home and the Eels at home. However, the Dragons just beat the Raiders, and the Eels had beaten the Broncos 2 weeks ago and were unlucky to lose to the Storm. So none of those games are going to be easy.
No.
And I guess depending on other results, we could fall into the 8. But to be honest with you, I think top 4 spot is gone. Based on the run home that we have and the teams around us and their draw, and the way that we're playing with all the injuries. This is considering everything. I'm not trying to be negative or anything here. I'm just saying we have to be realistic about the situation.
Agreed.
And we've been absolutely decimated by injuries.
You know what though? Before a game was kicked, and before a ball was kicked, and then after the round 1 loss to the Raiders in Las Vegas, if someone had said to us that we would have finished 7th or 8th this year, you'd take that, and you would have.
Absolutely.
Said, and you'd say that was a successful season. The fact that we've sat in that top 4 for 22 weeks, it kind of. If we drop out of the top 4 and we finish in that bottom part of the 8, it'd be a disappointing result after everything that we've been through this year. But I agree. I think that's the realistic nature of it. We play a Bulldogs side this week, who are higher on the ladder than us, have been able to put points on teams. Yeah, they got beat last week by the Tigers, but. I can't remember, and they've had a couple of losses this year, but we've also got the Broncos breathing down our necks. We've got the Panthers who are in form, and then we're coming up against teams like, as you said, the Dragons, who have been really gritty the last couple of weeks, and they got the win against the Raiders last week, but the games that they've played in the weeks before that, they've been unlucky not to come away with 2 points, and they could have been in the mix for a top 8 spot. Parramatta have really started to find some form. Manly are a bit hot and cold, and we got the Titans, who we know we've only beaten
absolute wood over us.
We've only beaten once since 2021. So, yeah, I'm hoping. Look, we're keeping the faith, of course, but we injuries haven't helped. The fact that we've lost Luke Metcalf, we've lost Mitch Barnett. Fisher Harris not playing has been telling for us. We really haven't been able to keep a centre pairing in all season. Leah Tua and Rocco Berry haven't featured much. We've had, as someone said last week, or the week before, who would have thought Adam Pompey would be our number 1 centre?
The mainstay, the glue that's holding the back line together. Look, I agree with all of that, but it's really bizarre how we've suddenly lost form at home and lost form. Like we haven't won there. We beat the Tigers there, but other than that, we're like 1 from our last 5 at home. Is it? So we lost to the Raiders. We lost to the understrength Panthers. So the Panthers missing all their Origin players. We sort of haven't been right since then. Since we pumped Cronulla, we've only had the 2 wins, and one of those was that absolute miracle get out of jail. And imagine if we hadn't have gotten that, we would be under way more pressure. But we're 12-12. I think most years 12-12 gets you into the finals, but I just feel that this year is a lot closer. And if results don't go our way and we don't win, put it this way, above all that, our destiny's in our own hands still. If we keep winning, if we win, there's nothing to worry about. But if we start having to, rely on other results, that's when you're in trouble. So,
Yeah, absolutely. What did you think the move of CNK fullback to centres? Because I don't know if he was playing busted, but it kind of nullified his gameplay. All the strength of CNK's game, yardage, carries, and so forth, didn't seem to be there last week, did it?
No. It's certainly it's obviously a different position, a different role, and his real strength is his work rate and his go forward, and it's an interesting one because we need bodies in there that can tackle and read the defense, and I think he can do a job there, but he's definitely a better fullback than a centre. But I think some of these guys just got to play where the team needs them at the moment. I think we're more chance of scoring points we look more dangerous with Tane at fullback.
Yep.
I think it's better for the balance of the side at the moment.
I agree.
Yeah.
Shannon Griffiths says Warriors haven't lost in Sydney all year. No need to worry. I realise this, mate. It's been a great year for supporters, really.
It has. I've seen more wins than I think I ever have, which is funny.
I haven't seen us lose live yet, which is great.
That's unusual for you, isn't it? Very unusual for you.
With my recent history of going to Warriors games, yes. And to think I didn't go to the Tigers game at Campbelltown at the beginning of the year for that reason, that I was worried that we were going to lose and it was going to start off a bad thing. And I just wanted to make sure that we retained the Mike Doreen Cup.
Which we did. So that doesn't matter what happens this year. We've still retained the silverware that really counts.
Absolutely. Mate, let's take a quick look at our Dean Bell medal points for this week. And Natural Australian supplements for men. Vital Man take the lead. Who did you give your 3, 2, 1s to, mate?
Yeah, I swithered a bit over these. I think the 3, 2, 1s that I gave you sort of after the game, I changed a little bit, but I went 3 points to Rog. He was outstanding, over 300 run meters, still looks dangerous every time he touches the ball, and he's really found a home out in the wing there. He got my 3 points. Work rate is unbelievable. 2 points to Tane. He had a really good game. He always looks dangerous. Again, the half break king. I'm still waiting for him to have that game where he really breaks out and owns it. Hopefully this Saturday night at the Core Stadium.
Yep.
So 2 points went to Tane. One point went to Aaron Clark, and I think we could give Aaron Clark points every single week. He just keeps doing what he's been doing all season. Really high work rate in attack and defense. So what about yourself?
Mate, I gave my 3 to Roger. His stats for the game: 331 run meters, 102 post-contact meters, 8 tackle breaks, absolutely outstanding, and was probably the catalyst that really kept us in the game, creating the big carries in those yardage sets, which enabled us to play some good ball footy, particularly in that second half. I gave my 2 points to Aaron Clark. As you said, we could probably give him a point every week, and we probably there's probably been some games this year where we haven't given him points because other players have had a game that has kind of warranted them getting some mention. But Aaron Clark's just been, for me, he's been the buy of the season. He's been absolutely incredible. And I gave him 2. 1 point, I was torn. I was thinking about, I thought Capewell was good when he moved back to back row. I thought Tamari Martin with 111 run meters and 21 tackles in the halves. I thought he played quite well. Jackson Ford, again, 144 metres for him. But mate, I'm like you. I had to settle with Tane, 184 run meters from fullback, 6 tackle breaks. And he's just a guy that plays well above his weight, well above his size every week. And I'm really, really looking forward to him having a full break and and showing his speed, because his highlight reel on YouTube from when he was playing New South Wales Cup, Queensland Cup
for Burleigh,
outstanding. Yeah,
with his ponytail.
I was at that game last year, Shannon, where we got the Golden Point game against the Bulldogs last year.
Oh, the salmon late hit where we on
Tamari Martin.
On Tamari Martin. It was Lecker's debut as well, where he almost won us the game with one of those runs.
Correct.
Yeah, that was a shocker. But I don't know if that was as bad as when we played them later in the year, which was SJ's final home game, where Stephen Crichton knocked out Rog, put him out for the rest of the season. Not only did he not get sin bin, he didn't even get penalised for it from memory. It was absolutely ridiculous. And of course, he should probably be out for a high shot this week as well. But no, we can't punish the fans. Remember, guys, got to have the best players playing in the game. So definitely a couple of controversial losses for sure.
I hope all the Warriors fans heading out to the game this weekend, and we'll talk about it very soon, have got their what do they call this one? What's this one? The Tigers players did
the code or something.
The code or something like that.
I don't even know. Yeah. That's right. It's probably there was a couple of Monday morning apologies, wasn't there? Geez, don't we get some? If there's a there's a reward for Monday morning apologies, I think we'd have we'd be premiers.
Yeah, absolutely. So our Dean Bell medal standings, Aaron Clark well and truly out in the lead on 54. RTS is making a run for it, though. He's on 33. I think he's going to run out of games, though, unless he gets a full complement of 6 every week from here
unless
until
we
the
go
end
to
of the
first
year.
weekend in October.
That's the other one too. So I'll quickly touch on the NRLW game as well. Round 5 was Magic Round up there in Newcastle for the women. Absolutely atrocious conditions in Newcastle last weekend. But the Warriors girls came away with a 12-6 victory over the Cowboys. Interestingly, our star recruit, Michaela Brake, she was ruled out of the game. Tyra Wateri made her debut becoming Warrior 70. And Ivana Lauatiti, daughter of Warrior 55 Ali Lauatiti, made her debut becoming Warrior 71. Scored on debut just like her dad did way back in 1998 on debut against the North Sydney Bears. But yeah, awful conditions to play in. A lot of handling errors by both teams, but a great win by the girls, and just showing that they're continuing to learn. They're continuing to develop these combinations, and they're tenacious and resilient, and coached really, really well by Coach Rod Griffiths. So great win for the girls. Our 3-2-1s for this one. RP Nichols got our 3-point. Ivana Lauatiti got 2 points, and Patricia Maliepo, our number 6, our 5'8", she got a point. So RP Nichols, well and truly leading the race for the. We haven't come up with a name for our women's Dally M's.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with one. We have to find. Oh no, I was thinking.
Laura Mariu was our Warrior number 1. So she's probably the one that we should probably name the award after. RP Nichols was Warrior number 2. So it could be fitting to name it after her though too, as a returning Warrior.
Oh, we'll come up with something for that. Yeah,
we will. Pathways last week, mate. The flag was called off. The conditions were just too poor to play Jersey flag. So that game was. I'm not sure if it was cancelled or postponed. I don't know if it's going to be replayed again. That was against the Dragons. And then in the New South Wales Cup, it was a 14-all draw that we played out with the second-place Dragons, which keeps us still 5 points clear at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Jet Cleary, interestingly, was unable to ice a 79th minute field goal attempt. It was quite interesting that I kind of was switching back between the scores. And at the same time that Nathan knocked over that 2-point field goal, Jet Cleary missed a 1-point field goal. So,
well, he's not quite the Iceman yet, is he? He's
not yet.
He's a little
not
bit
yet, mate.
Thawed out at this stage, but
in the New South Wales Cup, they only need to draw this weekend in the game against the Bulldogs, and they will win the minor premiership with only 4 games left in that competition. So, if they draw. They win, or draw or win, and they've sewn up the minor premiership. They can actually, because they'll be like 6 points in front or something like that.
Yeah.
So, been an awesome season for our cup team. I think that's 15 in a row that we haven't been beaten.
Yeah, it's an unbeaten run that stays intact, but we just didn't win obviously last week. Yeah.
Let's quickly, because we know that. Thursday night footy starting soon, so we'll quickly get through some of this stuff for those of you that want to get off watching 2 Nufties talk rugby league and go and actually watch some rugby league. Thursday night footy last week, Storm 16 over the Eels 10. Friday night, Dolphins 20 over the Warriors 18. The second game was the Broncos 60 over the Rabbits 14. Interestingly, in that one, mate, story came out that the Rabbits were unable to name an 18th man. Their injury toll is that bad at the moment.
It's incredible. We're probably not far off that either.
No, probably not. Saturday, Panthers 30 over the Titans 26. A lot of controversy out of this one. Titans.
A lot,
Titans with 26 second half points. I think the Panthers were up 24-0 at halftime. Cleary with that 2-point field goal to take the game into Golden Point, that was just absolutely ridiculous. Where
there's not too many players that would kick that, but you sort of had the feeling he's going to get this.
But the setup was just incredible. Like they were on the 30.
Backwards.
Yeah, he moved back. Talangi with a try in Golden Point. The interesting one was this: the trainer running in front of Jaden Campbell before he tried to convert the last try. That was hugely controversial.
Yes, indeed.
Your thoughts on that one?
Oh, I don't know. Like the thing that got me is he almost had like a bit of a smirk on his face while he was doing it, and he put his hand up. And I don't know whether that's just he realised he'd stuffed up big time, or whether he just didn't care. Apparently, they were laughing about it in the dressing sheds. I heard that somewhere.
Well,
and
as I said in NRL 360, he's either the dumbest trainer in the world or it was deliberate. Because for those of us that have been trainers of sports teams, and this is from first grade all the way down to under sixes. When you're running water on and off the field, particularly after a try's been scored, if you're in the end goal, your route off the field is across the field in the end goal to the sideline and then up the sideline. You never run down the center of the field ever.
And for that reason, you don't ever see it until last week, and it just so happened to be at a crucial point in the game. Yeah, I don't know.
The NRL
they have
come
form.
Out.
They have Panthers trainers have form doing dodgy stuff. So and later in that game as well.
Yes, well, they're saying 6 incidents that have been addressed since 2021. The 7th one, if you count old mate Shane Elford, I think it is, staying on the field,
giving the ball
with
a
the
bit of
entire
water.
set of 6. So he got 5 weeks and a $50,000 fine. The fine's nothing because the club will pay that. I just think it's a bit rich that the trainer gets 5 weeks for running in front of Jaden Campbell, and Felice Kafusi gets 2 weeks for breaking Jacob Laban's leg. Last year, Freddie Lussick got 4 weeks for breaking Lachlan Ilias's leg. I just don't see where the consistency is with any of these decisions.
Exactly. And as Shannon is saying, what about the Brian To'o whacking Filthy Phil Sami when he's going over for the corner? That's not a penalty try. I don't know what is.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That was my next issue. Was the bigger issue was Casey Badger not awarding a penalty try when Tohu hit Sammy High in the process of scoring. And then when it went upstairs first to the bunker, she cleared the play and then deemed that he put his foot into touch, so it was no try. And it wasn't until Kieran Foran protested that they had a look again, and that's when the penalty came out. But isn't a penalty try supposed to be when a player is injured or foul play in the act of scoring a try?
Yeah,
isn't that what it's about?
It's literally the reason why he didn't score that try, because he's over the line. He got whacked high, and he sort of like dropped, and that's why his foot went into touch. He was actually over the try line, but hadn't grounded the ball. Correct. And then his toe grazed the sideline. It's infuriating because it happens to us a lot as well.
Yeah,
i.e. the Crichton tackle last year and all this sort of thing. Like, what is it? Are they just scared to lose their jobs, which they're going to lose anyway because they make such a bad mistake like that?
Well, she made such a bad mistake that they've actually arrested her. Not only did they didn't give her the penalty of refereeing a Warriors game this weekend. They've actually
she didn't even get the low-profile game.
No, no. So yeah, she is the worst bunker referee. She is hopeless. And it was great seeing Gordy Tallis blow up all week on NRL 360 because he's associated with.
Well, yeah, because it affected his Titans. That's why. Otherwise,
correct. Incidentally, did you watch NRL 360 this week?
I didn't get to see it this week, but
he's got this massive scar on his head that he said he fell over his kid's toys. I'm wondering if he was in the car with James Hooper when James Hooper smashed into parked cars in Leichhardt.
Did you see on Paul Kent's podcast this week? They said, "Do you want to comment on the James Hooper incident?" He went, "Nope." All class from Kenty.
What is it about Fox Sports commentators being drunk and being in Leichhardt or Balmain? That's the other one too.
Oh, it's too trendy. That's where they all hang out. They need new night spots. Then
Exactly.
yeah,
Dragons 18 over the Raiders 12. Surprising result with the Raiders suffering an unlikely loss.
terrible conditions though.
Fuck,
Like
didn't
the
Jay?
conditions played a hand in a lot of these results. I think.
It
Yeah.
did. Tarpanay, didn't he carry on like a sook at the end of the game?
Yeah, exactly. He did it
And
against us as well. Yeah.
that's probably the big. Yeah, he did against us, and that's probably the biggest reason of these teams going on these winning runs is they get so accustomed to winning that they become poor sports when they lose.
Yeah.
You know, Roosters 20 over the Seagulls 4.
Again, terrible conditions.
Yeah, Sam Walker was a real difference in this
He
game.
had a great game. Yeah.
I did think Manly looked better when Turbo went to fullback though. So yeah.
Do you know
the
more
big
than
game,
Siebes? Do you? Should you be heavily entrenched at Manly?
I should. 2 games on on Sunday. The second game was the Sharks 32 over the Cowboys 12, but the Tigers 28 over the Bulldogs 14 in the Lockie Galvin Cup.
They're stealing our material, aren't they? Honestly,
They are. They are. Tigers were dominant. 4 tries in that first half. Adam Dewey was absolutely outstanding. I don't think the Bulldogs could have played any worse, though. The amount of drop ball that they had in that game. But yeah,
which makes me worried for this week because they had an out and out shocker. That's correct, and yeah, you don't think a team like the Bulldogs could play that way 2 weeks in a row, but we'll see.
Again, controversy. Seafarth sin bin for the shoulder contact to the head of Harry Hayes, which was deemed a Category 2 HIA. Stephen Crichton just penalised for his contact on Taylor May, and that was a Category 1 HIA. So, yeah, not much consistency again with the decision makers in the NRL. And the Knights had the bye, so the ladder going into this round, despite the loss of Dragons, despite the loss to the Dragons, I should say, the Raiders remain on top of the ladder on 36 points. Storm in second on 34. The Bulldogs third, also on 34 points. And the Warriors clinging desperately to fourth spot on 30 points, but looking incredibly shaky with the Panthers hot on the heels, just 1 point away on 29 points. The Broncos in sixth and the Sharks in seventh. Both of those teams on 28. The Dolphins round out the top 8 in 26. Then you got the Roosters and Seagulls sit in 9th and 10th on 24 points. And I think they just can't make the 8, those teams. Still a mathematical chance, but I think they rely on too much else happening up above them. Manly may have been a chance had they beaten the Roosters last week, but I think that all but ends their chance. The remaining teams definitely out of finals contentions despite some good results. The Dragons and Tigers on 20, the Cowboys on 19. They're a team under immense pressure, aren't they, the Cowboys? The Eels and Knights on 18, with the Titans and Rabbits on 16. The Bunnies last on for and against, and with a firm grip on the wooden spoon. They play the Titans this week, so that'll be the determining factor.
Yeah, well.
I know.
Yes. Yeah, Titans, I still can't get over the fact that we're their bunnies.
Well, quick look at the NRLW. They had Magic Round in Newcastle for round 5. Torrential rain in Newcastle, making the conditions very, very difficult to play. And they actually had 2 lightning delays during 2 of the games on Saturday. The second game between the Tigers and the Roosters, and the third game between the Broncos and the Sharks. So it was the Titans and the Bulldogs with a 14-all draw. First ever draw played out in the NRLW. The Roosters 34 over the Tigers 4. The Roosters continue on an 11-game winning streak dating back to round 7 last season. They're definitely the team to beat. Jocelyn Kelleher became only the second player in NRLW history to reach 200 points. Broncos 28 over the Sharks 14. Tamika Upton hat-trick. Took her to the top of the all-time try scorers list now with 34, 2 ahead of Tegan Berry. And then on Sunday, it was our Warriors 12 over the Cowboys 6. The Knights 18 over the Raiders 0. The Raiders season of woe just continues. Jessie Southwell is on a goal-kicking streak. She's kicked 23 in a row now for the Knights. And Raiders now without points since the 48th minute of round 3 was their last.
Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
They're in a funk, that's for sure.
They are. And then the Eels 12 over the Dragons 10. So the NRLW ladder, the Roosters undefeated after 5 rounds on top of the comp, 10 points. The Broncos and Knights are on 8. The Cowboys and the Eels are on 6. And then the Bulldogs and Titans are on 5 points. The Sharks, Dragons and Warriors all on 4. And then it's a gap to the Tigers and Raiders who are on 0 and yet to taste any victory in season 2025.
Yeah.
Let's get into round 23 versus the Bulldogs, mate.
Yeah, mate.
And before we get into the team list, I'll just let everyone know that, as per usual, that's happened all year this year, Richie Morgan from Warrior Nation has been hard at work organising pre-game meetups for all the Australia-based games. If anyone's getting along to this one, there is no pre-game meetup. The pre-game meetup is happening in the stadium to try and secure an area of the stadium so the Warriors fans can all sit together. The New South Wales Cup game has been moved to Leichhardt Oval. So our flag and our New South Wales Cup are playing at Leichhardt Oval. I think the flag kick off about 11:45, followed by the New South Wales Cup. And then it's a mercy dash over to Accor Stadium where the gates will open at 4:30 for the women's game to kick off at 5 o'clock, followed by the men at 7:30, I think. So if you can't get to Leichhardt Oval to support the pathways, make sure you get to Accor Stadium at 4:30/5 o'clock for when the gates open. We're going to secure that general admission away supporters area where we sat for the Rabbitohs game, mate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good little section there. Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to take that section over. They're expecting 60,000 people at this game. The Bulldogs have released $10 tickets again.
We got a code for 20% off tickets as well.
We did. Unfortunately, it came through like on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I think most people have already got tickets.
Already got tickets, yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be we need a huge fan base out there to show the boys the support, because the Bulldogs will try and, obviously being their home game, they'll try and take over. We want to have that one section of the grandstand for ourselves, and we want to be loud and very proud and drown out any calls for the doggies. So that's what's happening this weekend. So make sure you get to Accor Stadium 4:30.
Crew, there's a bit of a crew coming over from NZ, I believe, as well. I know Ina's coming over. Her hubby is a Bulldogs fan, so that'll be an interesting night. So yeah, hopefully you're the one that goes home happy, Ina. But yeah, it's always a tremendous atmosphere at away games over here in Australia. I can't speak highly of it enough. What Richie Morgan has been able to create over here, particularly like the New South Wales games, the Queensland games, have all been, the atmosphere has been second to none. I believe. Well, there's not really going to be a march this week, is there? Because as you just said, there's so unfortunately, if you're hoping to be involved in that, just due to the nature of the other games being away and a lot of people going over to Leichhardt and then travelling back over to Homebush for the game, that won't be happening. But yeah, don't miss out. Like, guys, honestly, if you're still swithering about whether you go or not, jump on Warrior Nation, check it out, because there is a 20% off code if you want to grab tickets. Don't sit there and go, geez, I wish I could have been part of that. Jump on board, get on board, turn up to the game, and cheer the boys home.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and as you said, there is a big crew from New Zealand coming over. The usual crew from New Zealand of Aaron Powell and Michael Johannick are going to be there. We've got our Queensland mates, Ricky Castle, Troy Adamson, and Brian Cleland heading down. Jerome Castle heading down. Ken Wills is heading down as well.
Don't forget Hammer's jersey, Jerome.
Don't forget Hammer's jersey, Jerome. You'll be looking forward to that one. Yeah, so going to be a great game. Mate, have you got the team list that Webby has named?
I certainly do. The team that Webby named on Tuesday take on the Doggies in the Indigenous round. is Tane Tuapiki, Dallin Watene-Selesniak, and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the wings. In the centres, same as last week, Adam Pompey staying over the right side there, and Chance Nickel-Klukstar in centre again. Chanel Harris-Tavita returns from injury to partner Tanner Boyd in the halves. The forwards, Murata Niokore, Sam Healy, and Jackson Ford up front, with Leka Halasima, Kurt Capel, and Aaron Clark in the back row. On the bench, Tamade Martin. Eddie Iremia Tuiava retains his spot. Dimitrik Vaimunga is back as well, and Tanistao Smith. The extended bench is Freddie Lussick, Ed Cozzi, Kalis Fatialofa, James Fisher-Harris. So watch this space. And Bunty Arfoa.
Team arrived in Australia, Sydney today, staying obviously where they usually stay at Homebush. They were training at the New South Wales Academy today. From what I could see, Fisher Harris trained okay. I think he's got to pass the fitness test tomorrow to be named in that squad.
He wasn't in the list of injured players that the club released today. So that's an interesting one. So that tells you he's probably a little bit closer than what they initially thought when they gave him those 2 to 4 weeks.
Lockie Galvin, all reports, may not be playing this game. I think he broke his hand last week, which will be 3 or 4 weeks on the sideline if confirmed. Toby Sexton named on the extended bench for the Bulldogs, probably a late inclusion into that team. Battle of the reject Titans halfbacks in this one, if that's the case.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it?
I saw enough. I saw enough from the Bulldogs last week to see where they're vulnerable, and that's defensive pressure on them makes them very, very vulnerable. You take the time and space away from Matt Burton, which the Tigers did. I didn't even realise Matt Burton was playing until sometime in the second half. I think we have them in forward strength and forward depth.
Yeah, our pack looks strong compared.
I actually think we win this game. I actually think I'm confident that we win this game. Like last week, I was not very confident, but from what I saw last week with the fight that the boys have in them, and I know, and I said this to you today, Wade Egan being out is a big out, but I don't think it's as devastating as, say, Luke Metcalf being out and Tanner Boyd replacing him, because I think Sam Healy offers a lot from dummy half.
It looked the goods last week for sure with his running game, which is, we know that's what he brings.
Yes.
His passing game was a little bit off at times, but he's still finding his feet in the side, and he'll be better for the run last week. So I'm excited to see what he'll bring.
I think we have enough young guys in this side to just have the occasion, not worry him too much. I mean, you spoke of Leka Halasima. That guy's an absolute freak. Cramped up at the end of last week's game. But made his debut against the Bulldogs last year and nearly scored the try of the season.
Yes.
Similar to what he did at Newcastle, actually.
It was almost identical, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, I'm confident, mate. I think we've got to play to our strengths, which is make sure our defense is resilient. We've got to kick to corners. Obviously, Tanner Boyd's biggest asset of his game is his kicking game.
Yes.
So he's got to utilise that. Chanel being back is a big in for us as well. And if Fisher Harris gets named to play, well, that's going to be a huge boost for the team.
Yeah. Look, we definitely need to score points. The attack's been struggling for the last 3 weeks or so, and we need to put, like you said, a lot of pressure on the Bulldogs and score some points. And that I know they've had some games where they have scored a lot of points, but they're actually probably more of a defensive side. So if we can get the jump on them and put a bit of scoreboard pressure on them, that will be the way to go. And we got to keep making yards. I think we've got the better forward pack. If we can keep some of their guys with X Factor a little bit quiet, so we can do a job on Kickow and Crichton and guys like Bronson Sherry and Jacob Carraz is not a regular fullback, so
no,
we
he's
put
not.
a bit of pressure on him. If Tanner Boyd can use his kicking game to his advantage there and put a bit of pressure on him. And yeah, I mean, we can. That's how I see us getting away with the win. And yeah, for the record, I'll stick with boys. A very, very nervous 2-point win. I can see us getting out to 24-16, and then the Bulldogs getting the try in the final 10. It's going to be an absolutely harrowing final 10 minutes as always, but I think we hang on 24-22.
Ooh.
Yeah.
24-22. I'm going to predict an 8-point victory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to say 24-16.
24-16. Yeah, that sounds like. I don't care. Honestly, I do not care how we do it as long as we get the job done. And if we get this win, then that takes a lot of pressure off for the rest of the season. But yeah, we got to go there and do a job, and where we know where we will have them prepared, and they'll know what they're in for. So yeah, fingers crossed, boys.
Absolutely. Have you got the women's team there, mate?
I can have that very shortly.
Playing the Bulldogs in the curtain raiser here. I think it might be the last opportunity we get to see the girls play here in Sydney this year, maybe.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
So the girls' team is Api Nichols, Tyra Watare, Taisha Ikenasio, Emanita Paki in the centres. On the other wing, Peyton Taki Moana, the try machine. We've got Patricia Maliepo and Emily Curtin in the halves. The front row is Fotu Moala, Turara Kedley, and Lavinia Kitai. In the back row, Maira Pukitapu, Kaya Atai, and Laishan Albert Jones. On the bench, Capri Peko, Harada Butler, Ivania Lauatiti, who you mentioned before, and Medikino Gray. Extended reserves, Michaela Ely, Avery Rose Carmont, Lavinia Tahua Liku, apologies if I got that wrong, Ashley Matapu, and Kaylin Takimu Cook.
Interesting that Michaela Brake didn't play last week due to personal reasons, and then still out this week. So
yeah.
Not happy about that because I did pick her in my predictions for this year to be the highest try scorer in NRLW.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Solid team though. Bulldogs, as I said, coming off a loss. Bulldogs started the season well. They had two wins early, and they've had a 3-game losing streak. So they're ripe for the taking. I think our girls, as I said, are coming together quite nicely. And we got some good speed out the back. Our halves are really starting to gel. Got some great forward leaders in Jones and Harada Butler. And I'm going to pick a 6-point victory to the Warriors in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go Warriors by 4.
Nice. All right, let's have a look at the NRL round 23 preview. Storm versus Broncos tonight. That's currently 0-0, I think.
Broncos 2-0.
2-0. Okay. I'm going to pick the Storm in this one, mate.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping the Storm in this one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Knights versus Panthers to kick off Friday night footy.
Geez, wouldn't it be nice to have an upset here? That would be amazing. I can't see it, and I think the Panthers will continue on their way.
I'm going to say the Knights do us a favour.
Oh, geez, that'd be nice.
I hope.
You're not basing that on anything, are you?
No. It's just wishful thinking. Raiders versus Sea Eagles. Second game Friday night. I'm going to pick the Raiders at home.
Oh, yeah, I think the Raiders will be too strong. Ricky will be seething after that loss last week.
They're at home again. Gee, they seem to get a lot of home games. Saturday, the Battle of the Shire, Dragons versus Sharks. I'm going to pick the Dragons.
Yeah, I'll take the Sharks.
Dolphins, Roosters. I'm going to pick the Roosters.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Oh, it'd be great for us if the Roosters won, wouldn't it? Yeah. Look, I'm gonna stick with the Roosters. I think with Herbie out, it's a big blow for them, and Sam Walker made a huge difference to their side. difference.
Yeah,
from their
I agree.
Side, so yep.
Yeah.
Roosters.
Bulldogs versus Warriors. We both picked the Warriors. Sunday, Titans versus Rabbits in the Spoon Bowl. I'm going to pick the Titans.
Yeah, I don't think the Rabbits are capable of beating anyone at the moment. They just can't get a decent side on the park. So yeah, Titans.
And the final game, the Eels versus Cowboys. I'm going to pick the Eels to put the final nail in Toddy Payton's coffin.
You reckon he's gone after that?
I reckon he's gone. I reckon he'll be gone.
Yeah. Oh, I don't. The Cowboys are a funny team, aren't they? I'll stick with them because they're at home. I'll say.
No, the Eels are at home.
The Eels at home. Okay,
Yeah.
well then Eels. The only way I would have picked the Cowboys is if they were at home. Sorry,
no.
Eels. Yeah, and of course teams that we need to beat will be nice in form when we come to play them.
Absolutely. Tigers have the bye this week, so that's going to be good for them. They're going to climb towards that ninth spot that they are trying to achieve, which is better than 17th.
Another preseason prediction of mine that could come true.
NRLW round 6, Saturday, Dragons versus Sharks. Mate, Dragons have a lot of outs in this game. Racing McGregor has been suspended. I'm picking the Sharks.
Yeah.
Knights versus Tigers. Tigers haven't won a game. I'm going to go to Knights.
Yeah, easy.
Bulldogs Warriors. I'm going for the Warriors.
Warriors, yep.
Titans Roosters on Sunday. Going to go the Roosters. Roosters still undefeated.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be the Roosters. Yeah.
Raiders Broncos. Raiders returning home, which they won't be happy about. I'm going to go the Broncos, and the Raiders could go another 70 minutes where they don't score a point.
I don't think it matters where that game's played. I think the Broncos will be way too good.
I agree. And Eels Cowboys. I'm going to pick the Cowboys.
Eels.
Alrighty. And yeah, again, just a couple of Warrior Nation updates. Again, just reiterating this Saturday, versus Bulldogs at the Core Stadium. There is no pre-game pub meetup. The meetup is in the stadium. 5:15 kickoff for the NRLW. I think gates open at 4:30 or 4:45. Make sure you're there. We'll secure that general admission away supporters section. Doggies fans are going to try and claim it. So Richie's put the call out. Everyone get there and claim that. And then in 2 weeks, we take on the Titans at Seabus Super Stadium. There is a pre-game event at the Sporting Globe, as always. And
we'll talk
more about that next week. And then final round, we play Manly at 4 Pines Park. Richie has organised a meetup at the Brookvale Hotel, and then we'll do the march to the stadium. So that is for round 27. A little bit of housekeeping. Yeah, mate?
Yeah, before we do that, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to one of our favourite players from the Warriors, and this is not entirely based on what he's done on the field, but I want to give a shout out to Warrior number 260, Ed Cozzi, who this week has announced that he's signed with the South Sydney Rabbitohs. We've said numerous occasions that he's such a lovely guy. He's one of our favourites. He's always been so giving of his time, chatting to us at Redcliffe, chatting to us whenever we see him at New South Wales Cup games. Absolute standout fella. I know he's a very polarising player when he's on the field, but he has had some really good games for us. He's a noted try scorer. And, we'll be very sorry to see you go, mate. We've already reached out to him and wished him all the best. And he just passed on his appreciation as well for us for always having his back and supporting him. And he said the club is in good hands, which it is. And, just want to wish you all the best, Ed. But you still got a job to do in the Warriors jersey, so hopefully you finish the year strong, no matter which side you're in.
Wait until he gets under Wayne Bennett. Wayne Bennett can bring out the best in a lot of players, can't he?
He certainly can, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for him. And I think he probably is one of those guys that needs to get out of his comfort zone as well. Yeah. So I'll do him a lot of good. Yeah.
I still remember his debut. I was at his debut game up in Gosford. He'd been packing shelves at Woolies that morning, and was called up in to make his first grade debut. And as you said, mate, he has been a bit of a polarising figure for some fans. We've probably had the luxury in the position that we're in, or the platform that we've got. When the team went through that 3 years of COVID, we had great access to the team and a lot of players. We got to meet a lot of people, and it makes it very hard when you see genuine nice guys of the club depart. It makes it very, very hard. We went through this a couple of years ago. It's no surprise that we were both very close with Josh Curran, and it was hard to see him leave the club. It was also hard. Like you kind of have this weird feeling when they're not playing first grade as well. You kind of, wish that they were out there playing. But but Ed was one of those guys. He's been on our show before. He speaks to us every time we see him at games. Lovely young bloke. And we do, absolutely. We wish him all the best at the Rabbits. But as you said, mate, there is a job to do this year still, whether it's in New South Wales Cup or first grade. There is still premierships to win.
Yeah, I'll never forget after he had that which was probably not one of his great games. And let's face it, he had a couple of 2 or 3 games that were particularly bad, but all players go through that. And he'd had that game against the Storm, and he was copping it from pillar to post. And we actually had a chance because the following week we played back at Redcliffe, and we just had sort of a quiet word to him. I remember that. That was a pretty sort of special moment, and you could see how raw it was. Yeah. Like, and the human element really came out. And I think that is what the biggest takeaway I'll ever have from their time at Redcliffe was the real human side of the players that we got to see when they were going through some really dark times there. And it was actually really special to be able to have that sort of moment with him. And to his credit, he finished off that year really strong. And
he did.
He had some really good moments in Jersey. So as we said, mate, we wish you all the best, and he'll always be one of our favourite guys. To be honest,
absolutely, he will.
So just a little bit of housekeeping, guys. Make sure that you check out Vital Man. Vital Man Take the Lead, bunch of men's and women's supplements run by Warrior 134 Michael Witt. Make sure you go and check out vitalman.com.au. Grab your meal replacement shakes and all other products there, and you can use the code RuinHammer and you will get 20% off your order. So Vital Man, take the lead. Go check that out. As always, a massive thanks to our Patreon supporters, for those people that support us on that platform. Thank you very much. We love having you guys in the chat. So if you do want to support us and what we do in Ruin Hammer, you can check out our Patreon page, Ruin Hammer, and you can see different packages we have on offer. Some of them offer merchandise. So if merchandise is your thing, you can get a Patreon package that entitles you to some of our fantastic shirts. And speaking of which, if you want to look at what we have in our Ruin Hammer store, make sure you go onto redbubble.com/people/Ru-and-hammer/shop. Jump on there and check out some of the great shirts. We've got a brand new 2025 version of our famous Up the Waz shirt from a couple of years ago. We got James Fisher-Harris shirt. We got a Luke Metcalf shirt. We got an Aaron Clark shirt. We got everything. So jump on there, take a look, and a portion of whatever you buy comes back to us, then supports us in what we do here at Ruin Hammer. So we greatly appreciate all you guys who have supported us in these ways. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Absolutely, we do. Just before we go, the rugby league gods are shining down on the Warriors tonight. Apparently, Ezra Mam and Adam Reynolds have had a head clash. They're both off.
Wow.
For the Broncos. Broncos still leading 2-0, but with their two halves off the field, great opportunity, even if it's for the next 15 minutes only, great opportunity for the Storm to post some points, I think.
They do have apparently, I have heard that they do have another very good player in their team as well. So
he's
he
a
should be able
superstar.
to win it by himself.
He's a superstar, Reece Walsh. Is referee Peter Goff refereeing tonight?
I don't know if referee Peter Goff is there, but if he is, there's one thing for sure.
He loves a ruck penalty. He absolutely loves a ruck penalty. Let me see if he is refereeing tonight.
It's still 2-0 as far as I can see.
It is
Adam
still
Reynolds
2-0.
penalty.
Oh, I can't see who's refereeing.
Well, that 2 points could have been from a ruck penalty, mate. So
it could have been. It could have been.
For those who are wondering what we're going on about,
listen to Michael Ennis.
Listen to Mick Ennis. He has some really weird takes on some stuff. We know that he loves Reece Walsh. Anyone can see that. Well, Melbourne have just scored, so Torrin Wishart has got a try. But
sensational.
he comes up with some really weird stuff about referees. And I noticed that he's got a bit of a thing for Peter Goff, and he's got a little bit of a thing for Liam Kennedy. He always has a little bit of a snigger about those guys. So I don't know whether he knows them or just has a little bit of an obsession with them. But
well, bad news, mate.
Cobbo gone too.
Eh?
Cobbo gone too. Our good mate Richie Sterling has just sent that through. Cobbo's up as well.
Nice.
Peter Goff. What game has Peter Goff got this week?
Peter Goff is in the nation's capital this week.
Oh, okay. Going to hand out some capital punishment with some
hand out some capital punishment. Yes, he's in the nation's capital this week, Peter Goff.
So watch out, Raiders. Watch your ruck. Keep the rucks clean, guys.
I'm just trying to see where referee Liam Kennedy's refereeing because he does love a technical penalty. We've got Adam G. If anyone's interested.
Adam G's. Yeah. One of the most serious men I've ever come across. When I was fortunate enough to do the coin toss back in 2017 at Mount Smart Stadium between the Warriors and the Raiders, he was the referee that day. And before I got the coin, he came over to me with this really serious look on my face. Mind you, I'm some nufty they pulled in from the crowd who's just literally going to flip the coin. He said, "Now, when the coin touches the ground, don't do anything. Don't touch it." I'm like, "Okay, mate, you're the referee."
Oh, this is awesome. Thank you.
riveting footage, isn't it? All you guys that have stayed with us for this.
Yeah.
It's made your night, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks again for watching, everyone.
Thanks everyone for watching. Tracy Edmonds, I'll see you at the game on Saturday, no doubt. Ina, I'll see you at the game as well. Look forward to catching up.
Go and say g'day to Hammer. If you see him there, make sure you go up and give him a high five, give him a code or whatever. Yeah, buy him a hot dog. He's a man who loves a big sausage. So
yeah. Thanks, mate. All right. Everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. And we will see you all next week. Up the wires.
Take care.